Hi, this is Bo from Aircraft and Pixels. This video is for folks who have purchased my 3D printed 1/24th scale Spitfire Mk I rudder pedal set. The Airfix Mk I kit depicts the later two-step pedals, with a second higher step designed to allow the pilot to raise his feet to help him withstand high G-forces encountered in combat. But these were not introduced until later. The early and mid-production Mk I's, at least, having ordinary single-step pedals, albeit nicely finished with the Supermarine logo in the center. I am going to show you how to prepare and finish them. If you are interested in acquiring a set, please check out my Patreon page. You can find the link below in the video description. Okay, let's get to it. The pedals come in a pair attached to a block on easy-to-remove struts. To ensure the parts are printable in gray Acura SLA, they have a little extra meat on the sides. Also, there is a little bit of stair casing in this area. Both can be quickly addressed with a sanding stick. I like to thin the side wings down to about 0.35 millimeters for a more scale appearance. To make it easier to work with this small object, I start by gluing the block to a small Lego or something similar. Then I start with the bottom rudder pedal and work the sides down, starting with a coarse sanding stick and then working down towards fine once I've approached the desired thickness. This next step is optional, depending on how you want to mount the pedals. There is a starter hole of approximately 0.75 millimeter diameter on the bottom of the pedal. This can be enlarged and deepened to allow positive mounting on 1 millimeter rod or tubing. I like to use tubing because it is easy to cut. Note that the hole you drill should not be perpendicular to the base. Use the small holes on the pedal sides to orient. Once the hole is enlarged, carefully cut the pedal from the block. Now you can access the second pedal for drilling. Secure the pedal to the tube with a drop of CA or epoxy. Repeat for the other pedal. At this point, you can finish them as you like. Remember that the originals were made of cast alloy. For this demo, I'll use a base of Tamiya XF53 neutral gray, followed by a little dry brushing of Tamiya XF16 flat aluminum. I've included some decals for the oval centers of the rudder pedals to suggest the shadow around the Supermarine logo script found on the original pedals. They come in two flavors of darkness. Choose the ones that you like or leave them off. It's up to you. Now it's on to fashioning the strap. I read somewhere these were made from fire hose on the original. I'm not sure if that's apocryphal or not, but in the pictures I've seen, the strap does appear to be made of some kind of woven clad tubing. To simulate this, I'm using some very tightly woven polyester fabric I found in the scrap box. I've included a piece of this stuff with the set. Carefully cut the fabric into strips about 1.25 millimeters wide. It will be stronger if you follow the weave when you cut. Next, soak the strips in thin PVA. I'm using good old-fashioned Elmer's school glue, and thin it down to a very watery consistency with water. This step is imperative, otherwise the fabric will begin to disintegrate as you work with it. Let the strips air dry overnight. Once they're dry, cut the straps to 11 millimeters length. Now drill 0.35 millimeter holes about a half a millimeter from each end of the straps, carefully centered. Thread the 10 thou brass wire provided through one end of the strap, then through the upper holes on both pedal sides, and then through the other end of the strap. Secure the wire to the inside of the pedals with a drop of CA, and then CA the strap to the pedal sides. Finally, trim the brass wire as close as possible. I use an old set of Tamiya sprue cutters for this. Don't use your good sprue cutters for cutting wire, it will ruin them. That's it. As for how you mount them to the rudder cross tubes, at least for now, you are on your own. If you have any questions, DM me on Patreon or here in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy modeling.